Well, I hadn't yet lived through the experience. I was just like that. I had such an ego, and I wrote all of this. That's why I meditate, do yoga, and get rid of those forms of dependency that cling to my physical body. I made my character, my mascot, popular. I created my character, a mascot, and made him popular using my social media. My character creates content for me around the world at the same time. This led to me becoming one of the most popular characters on the planet, since the character generates such a volume of content that no other person on Earth can create. My character gives concerts around the world simultaneously. The most popular music album in the world is Earth of Space. The album shows the connection between Earth and space, showing people that they all live on one planet, but they live so differently. And how they live and what they feel is solely their choice. This was facilitated by two main triggers. The first person in the history of humanity to record his album line by line in the most popular places on Earth, and the first person in the history of humanity to record a song in space. With the album Earth of Space, I made at least 15 billion views worldwide. And after returning from space, the algorithm kicks in. Hundreds of millions of streams from all over the world send it to the top of the global music chart. The most popular movie in the history of humanity. The history of the album Earth of Space became super popular worldwide. Directors from all over the world lined up to make a movie about a boy who changed himself and changed the whole world around him. This movie was shown worldwide, and its box office became the largest in the history. Its purpose was to show people that there's no need to search for anything. Everything is already here. The movie shows that I am just a person like them. And only when I changed myself from within, my whole life changed. The movie teaches people to be happy, grateful every day, and teaches them to do everything with love, to live with love, to teach, to realize, learning and development. My knowledge is used by hundreds of millions of people. I know that I must share my knowledge with people, so I create a lot of educational content in the field of mindfulness and manifestation. My lessons are becoming bestsellers around the world, all at super affordable prices. I want people all over the world to understand that the universe and Earth are the same for all people, and only what is in their heads and hearts separates them from the life of their dreams. I have opened and am still opening mindfulness schools around the world, because I believe that if a person learns mindfulness, they will go and do everything they need to do for their life and the lives of others in the world. And such people are safe for the environment. I travel around the world and gather huge stadiums to share with people the story of my life and the knowledge that inspires them to start working on themselves. Charity, creating the Save the World Fund. The majority of the money that me and my brand receive from all businesses and areas of my activity, 50% or more, I donate to solving global problems. I help people, create mindfulness schools, and so on. Here. Paintings, art. I love to paint. Well, that's the story. Specifically this. I wrote down a bunch of things, everything that I needed, right? And this was my perception of myself. I read it all day long, read. Listened again. Next, I made a bunch of reminders that I received every hour. More than 1 billion people follow me on all social networks. I am a dollar billionaire, love for God and gratitude. More than 500 million people follow me on Instagram. Here, I am on the cover of Forbes magazine. Earth of Space is the most popular music album, and so on. I have a healthy body and spirit. I am here now, reading the list. I make videos that always resonate. That is, these are just thoughts. And all day long, my attention was daily, hourly in these thoughts. So, I realized that I cannot constantly concentrate on this, and this way I was able to keep my attention on these thoughts, due to the fact that everything was just there. My entire apartment. I woke up and, you see this board? These boards have been with me for many years. Well, for 4 or 5 years. I woke up, and in front of me was my bed with the caption, "Champion, get up, it's time to save the world." And there are many different thoughts already written about who I am and so on. That is, the first thing I saw upon waking was that caption. That's it, and I went to sleep again, looking at it. Wherever I looked, everywhere, at home, in the office, these reminders were everywhere. I even have that to this day, the consciousness of Anar Dreams, 1 million followers. Well, an image was created. I am now free from this, but it just happened. It was created. So yes, I just constantly look at this. That's it, and it just knows that it exists. And then somehow everything falls into place. And this, and that's it, I did this too, because I meet different people, and they have all sorts of doubts and so on, and communication just happens. And in communication, attention is focused on their words. Or you scroll through your phone, watch some videos, your attention is drawn to what was said there. Something happens somewhere, there are news on Telegram or on TV, and your attention starts to scatter there. And so I started trying to do it this way, so that all my attention, most of it was focused on my perception of my world. And the whole world changed, in an inexplicable way. I don't seek explanations for this, they don't exist. So just write down your perception of yourself, and just look at it. Look and imagine. So, I read all of this. It still evokes emotions. After all, you feel something when you read all this about yourself, and you don't have to do it like I do. You can do it your way, just as you want to. Make your own. This. Well, and this. Well, by the way, at this moment I've let it all go. I wrote it then. But now I don't care. I just stay in the moment, what comes, what goes. Something like that. I have freed myself from all of this. Just imagine. Back then I also thought that I was making this choice, and everything like that. And it was written almost in every line that I was choosing something. I specifically lived very rigidly in this concept of achievement, of the idea that a choice can be made. It remained relevant for a long time. And one day, so to say, I paid attention to myself and saw everything as it really is during spiritual practice. And I freed myself from everything. All my desires were instantly fulfilled. I surpassed all my desires. I found that which is beyond all desires, that which all desires combined cannot give me. Not like I found it, but it was always here. It is here and now. But all these desires, constantly obscured. Every day I woke up, and what did I think? Immediately the board, everything is written on it. I ran straight to God knows where and God knows why. And so all day long, I was achieving something. All day long my attention was focused on creating some kind of world. And there was no joy. Only my ego was growing from all these so-called achievements. And achievements were only for the ego. In reality, there were never any achievements. I had never achieved anything. In reality. It just was happening. By itself. And it happens and will happen. But I didn't know that. Simply, out of ignorance. Just because my attention was focused on all of this. But it was part of my path. My path. So yes, if you need to achieve something and so on, it's all very simple. You need to deeply understand the unity of everything. Deeply understand that time does not exist in the concept in which you perceive it. When you realize this, there will no longer exist future, past, and present. There will only be this. If something is needed, it exists now, totally. Both future and present and also past, they all exist now. Yes. And then you write everything you need down. You know that it exists. You just reread it. Form images. As much as possible, with all your attention, more and more. Just stay in this. It changes your state. When the state changes, thoughts, decisions, and actions also change, and the sequence of events. There is one more point. Life can begin to change quantumly, at a tremendous speed. The speed depends on how exhaustive this knowledge is within you. That is, if you want something, for example, you want to take a bottle. An infinite number of paths leads to any of your goals or tasks. So you just need to understand this. Wherever you go, an infinite number of paths leads to it. You can take it like this, like this, like this. I can go out, walk around the house several times. I can walk around the house 1,000 times. I can swim across the sea. I can fly around the planet. So, an infinite number of paths leads to your goal. How can I learn to take the shortest path to my goal wherever I go? This path must be traversed within yourself, but to traverse it within yourself, you need to realize that the entire path is actually from one state to another. From the state, I want to take the bottle to the state. I know it's in my hands. From the state, I want something to the state. I know it is here now. So, at the moment you receive what you want, at the very moment when you receive what you want, at that moment you will not want it anymore. Can you realize it? And then you will know exhaustively that you have it now. That is all you need. Realize this. Here, what you want is when you receive it. At the very moment when everything is there, it has happened. You will no longer want it. And even a drop, just a drop of wanting will be dissolved. What will remain is the total exhaustive knowledge that it is here now. If you can unsee this, that is all you need, and the speed lies in this. In the fact that you totally, exhaustively know that this bottle is currently on the table. And even if the whole world, all of humanity says that it is not here, you totally hold this knowledge, without scattering, on any doubts, no doubts, nothing extra. Total knowledge that it is here now. And it manifests. And this applies to everything, because there is no difference between the bottle and a thought, a feeling, a person, anything. It's all the same. But for this, you just need a deep understanding. A very deep understanding of what really changes. And this speed of people is here. Here is their faith. They do something. And what actually changes? The faith changes in the state. The faith that they are a bit closer. They are a bit closer, a bit closer, a bit closer. And here they are laying bricks. They are doing something. They are struggling in the external world to, sitting here, allow themselves to think differently, a little bit differently. And I simply, sitting here, change my state, and everything around me changes. Recently we were driving and I said, well, something like this. I said, I need land here, 100 hectares. And here I have already told this story recently, right? We went there, first looked at the land ourselves, found other very beautiful lands. And my friend just receives a video which says this, Anar, I have 100 hectares of land here. Let's build something here and stuff. And it manifests by itself. It happens by itself. And this knowledge is exhaustive, it is super important, but it is only possible when you realize the unity of everything. As long as you have division, as long as possible and impossible exist, you understand that the thought of earning dollars and the thought of earning $50 million, there is no distinction between them in reality. You need to deeply understand this. For you, one thing is possible and the other is impossible, because you are relying on your experience. You have experience, you have lived for some years, and your experience specifically shows you what is possible and what is not. And this is a delusion, this is not true. Your experience is one infinite part of who you are, and of what is happening here. Your experience is simply what you have paid attention to, you have comprehended it, but there is something else. But for you to comprehend that there is something else, you need to pay attention to it. But if your attention is held on to your experience, to what you have seen before, well, this is what you comprehend. There are no distinctions between thoughts. There is no big or small. People have instilled that you need to climb a ladder somewhere and so on. That like salary changes up the ladder, that first you need to earn 50,000, then 100,000, then 150, then a million, and so on. And this is not true. I mean, for a person, if they need to reach a certain income, a million for example, I don't know, rubles, dollars, whatever, they think that first they need to make a small income, then more. I will show you something now. Listen, this is so simple. All of humanity strives towards a goal, gradually. Little by little they are heading towards something. To any goal. I don't know, to 1 million followers, dollars, rubles, I don't know. Anything. Gradually, they are building something. But in reality,